The tapir, an animal that many do not know in detail, is one of the most intriguing and impressive creatures in Brazilian wildlife. Despite its calm appearance, it hides fascinating secrets that make its existence in nature unique. Let's embark on a journey to uncover some of the most interesting facts about this animal, which is much more complex and important than it might seem at first glance. First of all, it's interesting to know that the tapir is a large mammal and the largest land animal in South America. It belongs to the Tapiridae family and is related to other mammals like the horse and the rhinoceros. That's right, even though it seems unlikely, these animals share a common evolutionary lineage. This distant kinship helps explain some of the tapir's unique anatomical features, which aren't seen in other animals in our forests. The tapir's body is robust and can weigh up to 300 kilograms in some regions. Its rounded and muscular body helps it move through dense vegetation, while its strong legs support it on difficult terrain like swamps and thick forests. Additionally, the tapir has an incredible swimming ability. It is an excellent swimmer and often uses water not only to cool off, but also as an escape route from predators. This behavior is essential for its survival, allowing the tapir to hide from threats while enjoying the resources of rivers and lakes it encounters along the way. One of the most remarkable features of the tapir is its snout. Unlike many other animals, the tapir's snout is adapted for special functions, acting like a mini trunk, similar to an elephant's. This flexible snout allows it to feed easily in hard-to-reach places, helping it reach leaves, fruits, and branches. This organ is a true tool that gives the tapir an adaptive advantage in the wild. With it, the tapir can gather food from the ground, higher bushes, and even in the water, making it a true specialist in food gathering. The tapir's sense of smell is one of its main senses and plays a crucial role in its daily life. It uses this keen sense to find food and detect the presence of other animals, including potential predators. The tapir also communicates with others of its species through scent. On various occasions, it marks its territory with urine or secretions, leaving a chemical trail that other tapirs can identify. This is especially important during the mating season, allowing tapirs to find mates in the vastness of the forest. Speaking of food, the tapir plays a fundamental ecological role. By eating fruits and then walking through the forest, it disperses seeds along its path. This means that the tapir is a natural gardener of the forest. This role is so important that it's considered a keystone species for ecosystem maintenance. Tree and plant species depend on the seed dispersal carried out by the tapir to spread into new areas of the forest. In some places, it's said that the forest literally moves with the tapir, as plants follow its path. This is a little-known detail that makes the tapir indispensable for the biodiversity of the ecosystems it inhabits. The reproduction of tapirs begins with the search for a mate, which usually happens after marking territory and identifying scents left by other individuals. The female tapir, who usually gives the first signs of receptivity, leaves specific chemical marks in her territory indicating readiness to mate. Once a male detects these marks and finds the female, he approaches cautiously, paying close attention to her reactions. This process of approach is peaceful and involves a kind of body dialogue, where both animals slowly approach and investigate each other. This ritual is essential as it establishes a bond of trust and helps reduce stress during the courtship period, especially since tapirs are naturally cautious animals that avoid conflicts. This courtship period, which can last several days, is crucial for both animals to feel safe and confident. The tapir has a relatively long reproductive cycle, which is one of the reasons it's so vulnerable in nature. The gestation period of a tapir is about 13 months, that's right, more than a year. This prolonged gestation is a unique characteristic among large animals and poses a challenge for the preservation of the species, as, unlike animals that have multiple offspring throughout the year, the tapir has only one calf at a time and with very spaced intervals. As we mentioned, the tapir is a slow reproducing animal and the gestation period is long, lasting around 13 months. When it comes time to mate, the tapir becomes more active and attentive to signals left by potential partners. Interestingly, despite its heavy build, the tapir is agile and capable of covering long distances in search of a suitable mate. This behavior helps increase genetic diversity, as they often mate with tapirs from other areas. After mating, the female goes through a long gestation period, which demands significant energy and attention. During this time, she seeks out quieter, more secluded areas where she can feed in peace and ensure a safe environment for the future calf. Interestingly, despite her primarily herbivorous diet, the tapir is highly resilient and capable of enduring periods of food scarcity. In challenging situations, she adapts her diet, consuming a wider variety of plants and even leaves that other animals avoid. The birth of a baby tapir is a special event, and these young animals are born with a distinct feature that makes them adorable and easy to recognize: stripes. As juveniles, tapirs have white stripes running along their bodies, which serve as camouflage. This pattern helps the calves blend into their surroundings, reducing their chances of being spotted by predators. Over time, these stripes fade, and they develop the uniform brown coloration of adults. These calves are extremely dependent on their mother, forming a strong bond with her. The mother is responsible for protecting and guiding the calf until it is capable of surviving on its own. During the first year of life, the calf stays close to its mother, learning where to find food, how to stay safe, and the social behaviors of its species. This learning process is vital, as it helps pass down the knowledge and instincts essential for the calf's survival in adulthood. This distinct coloration is a crucial adaptation for the calf's survival during its first weeks of life, a period in which it is most vulnerable. The calf stays by the mother's side for about 6 to 8 months, being nursed and shielded from potential threats. The female tapir is highly protective and remains vigilant during this time, defending her calf from any imminent danger. The bond between mother and calf is strong and intensifies during the initial months, as the mother teaches the calf how to find food and hide from predators. During the first few months, the calf relies entirely on its mother's milk, which is highly nutritious and vital for its growth and development. After this period, the calf begins to explore its surroundings more independently, though it still remains close to its mother. It starts to consume small amounts of vegetation, gradually learning to identify the foods it needs for survival. This learning process is essential so that, as a young adult, the calf can locate and select its own food sources and protect itself in the wild. Over time, the calf gradually loses its characteristic stripes and adopts the uniform coloration of adults, usually around 6 to 8 months of age. At this point, the young tapir is better prepared to face the challenges of life in the forest. However, it still partially relies on its mother's protection and guidance, especially when it comes to identifying safe areas and learning feeding routes. The journey to independence is gradual, and the young tapir slowly moves away to begin its own journey. In terms of reproductive rate, tapirs have a very slow breeding cycle. Each female, on average, gives birth to a single calf every 2 to 3 years, which means that the tapir population grows at a slower rate compared to other animals. This slow reproductive rate is one reason why the species is vulnerable and requires special protection to ensure its survival. The low birth rate makes the species more susceptible to external threats, such as habitat loss and hunting. For this reason, each new birth is celebrated by biologists and conservationists, as it represents a victory for tapir conservation. To preserve these animals, conservation initiatives have been implemented in various regions where tapirs inhabit. These projects aim not only to protect the natural habitat of tapirs, but also to ensure the continuity of reproductive processes, allowing each calf the chance to grow and contribute to the population. Raising awareness about the importance of tapirs to the ecosystem is crucial to engage local communities and promote peaceful coexistence between humans and these incredible animals. The reproductive process of tapirs is an example of nature's complexity and beauty, where each stage is essential for the balance and continuity of life. Over the years, the tapir has developed unique survival and reproductive strategies, making it a species truly adapted to the challenges of South American forests. Understanding and respecting these processes is fundamental to ensuring that tapirs continue to play their vital role in ecosystems. Another remarkable aspect of tapirs is their adaptability to different biomes. They are found in various parts of South America, from dense forests to savannas and wetlands. In each of these habitats, the tapir plays a fundamental role, and its behavior can vary depending on environmental conditions. In regions where more water is available, for example, tapirs tend to spend more time in the water, while in drier areas, they adapt their diet and behavior to survive challenging conditions. Beyond these behaviors, the life cycle of tapirs is also fascinating. Under ideal conditions, a tapir can live around 25 to 30 years in the wild. However, many factors influence their life expectancy, including food availability, the presence of predators, and human actions, which pose one of the greatest risks to the species' survival. Unfortunately, tapirs face constant threats, particularly due to the destruction of their natural habitat, which is happening at an alarming rate across several regions in South America. As forests and wetlands are destroyed to make way for activities like agriculture and mining, tapirs lose the vital space they need to survive and reproduce. Thus, contrary to what many may think, the tapir is a very adaptable and intelligent animal. It knows how to identify the best places to find food and is always alert to environmental dangers. Its vision, although not very strong, is compensated by an extremely sharp sense of smell.
Have you ever imagined living in a place so cold that it seems impossible to survive? Well, that's exactly how penguins live. These incredible animals are true survivors of the ice. But did you know that not all penguins live surrounded by snow? Today we're going to explore some surprising facts about these charismatic birds and uncover secrets that many people don't know. So, stay until the end, because you're in for a surprise. When we think of penguins, the first image that comes to mind is a vast field of ice, right? And it's true, many penguins, like the emperor, live in Antarctica, facing sub-zero temperatures and biting winds. But what few people know is that to survive, emperor penguins have a special secret. They gather in large groups, forming a sort of heat bubble. Each penguin positions itself close to the others, taking turns on the outer edge so no one freezes. This strategy is so effective that, in the middle of the group, the temperature can exceed 30 degrees Celsius, while outside, the cold is bone-chilling. Did you know that these same penguins travel huge distances to find food for their chicks? Imagine walking several kilometers on ice just to catch some fish. Impressive, isn't it? Now, something that might surprise you. Not all penguins live in the cold. Magellanic penguins, for example, inhabit the beaches of Argentina and Chile. They prefer milder climates and are known for building burrows in the dunes like true engineers. They dig holes in the sand to protect their eggs from predators and changing weather conditions. And speaking of predators, did you know that penguins have to deal with threats both on land and in the sea? Predators like leopard seals and birds like skuas are always eyeing the defenseless chicks. It's a constant battle for survival. But these little warriors have their ways of protecting themselves, and unity makes all the difference. Perhaps one of the most impressive skills of penguins is their diving ability. They may be terrible in the air, but underwater they are true torpedoes. Emperor penguins, for instance, can dive over 500 meters deep and stay submerged for up to 20 minutes. They have special muscles that store oxygen, allowing them to explore areas where few animals can reach. Did you know that penguins' bodies are so adapted to the water that their wings function like real flippers? They use these wings to propel themselves and swim at speeds of up to 10 kilometers per hour. Imagine a bird that flies underwater. That's the magic of penguins. Now, if there's one scene that melts any heart, it's penguins walking on land. With their clumsy manner and short steps, they always seem about to fall. But don't be fooled. This is an adaptation to save energy while moving on ice. And when they are in less icy areas, they have another strategy: sliding on their bellies. Penguins literally slide on the ground to travel distances more quickly, a technique they call tobogganing. And there's more. Some species, like the gentoo penguin, are extremely fast in the water, but on land, they like to show off a very curious behavior. They give pebbles to each other as if they were gifts. This happens mainly during mating season, and it's a gesture that shows affection and the choice of a partner. Nothing like a special gift, right? Penguins are true masters of adaptation, capable of surviving in some of the most extreme environments on the planet, while being incredibly charming with their habits and behaviors. They teach us that, even in the toughest situations, unity, cooperation, and resilience are the keys to survival and thriving. If you enjoyed learning more about these amazing birds and want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This way, you won't miss any news from our animal world. And what other penguin fact do you know? Leave it in the comments, I'd love to hear it. Until next time, explorers.
The lemur of Madagascar is one of the most fascinating animals you can encounter in nature. This small primate, endemic to the island of Madagascar, is surrounded by mysteries and curiosities that make it a true gem of the animal kingdom. If you're not yet familiar with lemurs, Get ready for an engaging journey where every detail revealed will make you fall more in love with this incredible creature. Let's start with a feature that immediately catches your eye: their huge eyes. Lemurs have large and expressive eyes, which are a perfect adaptation to nocturnal life. That's right, many lemurs are nocturnal, meaning they spend much of their time active at night. Their ability to see in the dark is essential, and their eyes are specialized for that. Imagine walking through a dense forest at night and having vision as sharp as theirs. Now, speaking of lemur diversity, there are about 100 different species, each with its unique traits. Some are small, the size of a little mouse, while others can be quite large, like the indri, which can reach nearly 1 meter tall. This diversity is the result of Madagascar's isolation, an island that separated from the African continent millions of years ago, allowing lemurs to evolve in unique ways, without competition from other large predators. A curious example of this evolution is the mouse lemur, the smallest of them all. It weighs around 30 grams and is about the size of a small squirrel. On the other hand, the aforementioned indri is the largest, weighing up to 10 kilograms. It's incredible to think that an isolated island can host such variety within the same group of animals. The diet of lemurs is also an interesting point. They are mostly herbivores, eating fruits, leaves, and flowers. However, some lemurs also eat insects and small vertebrates. This depends a lot on the species and habitat. Lemurs living in dense forests, for example, have a diet richer in fruits, while those living in more arid areas need to adapt and eat what's available, such as tougher leaves and even tree bark. And speaking of habitat, lemurs are true acrobats. Living in trees, they leap from branch to branch with impressive agility. Their light and muscular bodies are perfect for this arboreal life. One of the most notable jumpers is the sifaka, a lemur that can leap up to 10 meters between trees. Imagine the stamina and precision this animal needs to perform these maneuvers. But it's not all sunshine for lemurs. Unfortunately, they are among the most endangered animals on the planet. Deforestation in Madagascar is one of the biggest threats to their survival. The island has lost much of its forest cover due to agriculture and logging. As a result, many lemurs are losing their natural habitats and being forced to live in increasingly smaller and isolated areas. Additionally, illegal hunting is also a problem, despite these animals being protected by local laws. Here's a fact you might not know: lemurs play an important role in Madagascar's culture. For the Malagasy people, the island's native population, lemurs are seen as spiritual animals. They believe these primates are guardians of the forests and have a special connection with their ancestors. This has led to lemurs being respected and protected by cultural traditions in many regions, helping to preserve them for centuries. However, with the advance of modernization and the arrival of more destructive economic practices, this symbiotic relationship has been threatened. Speaking of conservation, there are many initiatives around the world to protect lemurs. Many zoos and conservation centers have programs dedicated to captive breeding and educating people about the importance of conserving these animals. Additionally, environmental organizations work directly in Madagascar to try to curb deforestation and create preservation areas where lemurs can live safely. These actions are essential because many lemur species are critically endangered, and without a joint effort, we could lose these incredible creatures within a few decades. Another fascinating aspect of lemurs is their social behavior. They live in groups, and each group has a unique dynamic. Some lemurs are led by females, which is quite uncommon in the animal kingdom. The dominant female decides where the group will go, what they will eat, and even who gets to mate. This type of matriarchal organization is one of the reasons why lemurs are so studied by scientists, as their social structures can help us understand more about primate evolution, including our own species. Lemurs also have an extensive vocabulary of sounds that they use to communicate. They can emit screams, whistles, and even growls. Each sound has a different meaning, whether it's warning the group of a predator's presence or strengthening social bonds among them. Some species, like the Indri, are famous for their long and melodious calls, which can be heard for miles. Besides sounds, lemurs use their sense of smell to communicate. They have special glands that produce unique scents, and these odors are used to mark territory and even attract mates. Imagine walking into a forest and realizing that everything around you is impregnated with the olfactory signals of these small primates. Finally, let's not forget to talk about the importance of lemurs for Madagascar's ecosystem. They are considered seed dispersers, meaning they help spread seeds across the forest, contributing to plant regeneration. When a lemur eats a fruit and then moves to another part of the forest, it ends up spreading that fruit's seeds, helping new trees grow in different areas. Without lemurs, many of Madagascar's endemic plants could disappear, which would be an ecological disaster. So, in addition to being charming animals full of curiosities, lemurs play a crucial role in maintaining the island's biodiversity. Protecting them is, at the same time, protecting an entire chain of life that depends on them. If each of us does our part, whether through awareness, supporting conservation projects, or simply spreading the word about the importance of these animals, we can ensure that lemurs continue to captivate the world for many generations. Seahorses are undoubtedly one of the most extraordinary creatures in the ocean. They stand out not only for their unique appearance but also for their surprising behaviors. Take a closer look at them: upright body, a long head that resembles a horse, and a flexible tail that helps them cling to coral and seaweed. Have you noticed how different they are from any other fish? Yes, seahorses are actually fish. But what makes them so special? Get ready, because you're about to find out. Let's start with the fact that seahorses have a curious way of swimming. While most fish use their tails to propel themselves, seahorses use their small dorsal fins to move, and to be honest, they aren't exactly the fastest swimmers in the ocean. In fact, they swim slowly, which makes them seem like easy prey, right? Wrong. To make up for this disadvantage, seahorses are masters of camouflage. They can blend in perfectly with their surroundings, hiding among marine plants and coral, becoming almost invisible to predators. And speaking of predators, did you know that seahorses don't have many natural enemies? This is partly due to their skin. Unlike many fish that have scales, seahorses are covered in bony plates. This gives them a kind of armor, making them less appealing to predators. Now, you might be wondering, if they're so slow, how do they hunt? Well, that's another surprise seahorses have in store. They are masters at ambushing their prey. How? They have a special head adapted to suck up small crustaceans and plankton. When they silently approach their prey, they suck the food in with impressive speed, almost like a tiny underwater vacuum. In the blink of an eye, the food disappears into the seahorse's mouth. But perhaps the most surprising characteristic of seahorses is their reproductive behavior. Unlike most animals, it's the males who carry and give birth to the babies. That's right. The female deposits her eggs into a pouch on the male's abdomen, and he is responsible for incubating the eggs until they are ready to hatch. Imagine this: in a single pregnancy, a male seahorse can carry anywhere from 100 to 1,000 babies. After a few weeks, the male gives birth to hundreds of tiny, perfect miniatures of seahorses. And at that point, the babies are on their own. There's no parental care after birth, they are left to survive all by themselves. Another interesting fact is that seahorses form monogamous pairs. They stay with the same partner for long periods, and every day, the couple performs a kind of dance. Yes, a dance. They swim together, intertwining their tails and often synchronizing their movements. This not only strengthens their bond but also ensures that the male is ready to receive the eggs when the female is ready to transfer them. But the seahorse is not just a fascinating creature because of its behavior and appearance. It also plays a vital role in the marine ecosystem. They help control the population of small crustaceans and other marine organisms, maintaining the balance of coral reefs and seagrass beds. However, despite their importance, seahorses are in danger. Overfishing and the destruction of their habitats, especially coral reefs and mangroves, have pushed many species of seahorses to the brink of extinction. Additionally, they are hunted for use in traditional medicine and for the aquarium trade. So, what can we do to help? Protecting the marine environment is crucial. Avoiding the consumption of products that use seahorses and supporting sustainable fishing practices are essential steps to ensure that this species continues to swim in our oceans. Seahorses are enigmatic creatures with an almost magical beauty. And while they are fragile, they have developed incredible strategies to survive in a challenging underwater world. By learning more about these little giants of the sea, we can be inspired to protect and preserve the oceans and the many forms of life they support. What do you think? The Mandarin duck is one of the most fascinating and colorful ducks in the world. Native to the forests of Asia and Europe, this duck is a true masterpiece of nature. Its plumage showcases a vibrant combination of colors, ranging from green to blue, orange to white, creating a stunning visual display. But what makes this duck so special? Let's explore its characteristics, behavior, and interesting facts that are sure to capture your attention. Males are particularly impressive. During the mating season, they display unmatched splendor, with feathers that seem to have been hand-painted. The dark green head reflects light in a mesmerizing way, while the body features intricate patterns that seem to tell an ancient story. The long, serrated tail is a detail that cannot be overlooked. These traits serve not only to showcase beauty but also play a crucial role in courtship. Females, on the other hand, have a more understated plumage, predominantly brown, which offers camouflage while incubating their eggs. But it's not just their appearance that makes Mandarin ducks interesting. Their social behavior is fascinating. They are known to form strong bonds with their partners and typically mate for life. This fidelity is rare among waterfowl. Did you know that after mating, the couple spends a lot of time together? They are often seen swimming side by side in perfect harmony, exploring the lakes and rivers they inhabit. Speaking of habitat, Mandarin ducks prefer freshwater areas surrounded by dense vegetation. This environment provides shelter and safety, allowing them to hide from predators and giving their chicks a secure space to grow. Females are especially careful when choosing where to nest. The nest is usually built in tree hollows or areas covered by tall vegetation, keeping the eggs protected. Once the chicks hatch, they are taken to the water almost immediately, showcasing an incredible spectacle of how nature adapts. The chicks are an adorable sight. With fluffy, colorful down feathers, they follow their mother in a little line, quickly learning to swim and forage for food. The little ducks are incredibly agile but still need the protection of adults. The maternal instinct is strong, and mothers are highly protective. They emit soft sounds to calm and guide the chicks, creating a bond that is remarkable to witness. Now, let's talk about their diet. The Mandarin duck is omnivorous and feeds on a variety of items, including seeds, grains, insects, and small crustaceans. They are masters at diving and foraging, using their bills to scavenge the surface of the water. Did you know that these ducks can also be seen feeding on fruits? It's true. In some regions, they are known to indulge in fruits that fall from the trees. In addition to their diverse diet, Mandarin ducks are excellent flyers. Their wings are long and powerful, allowing them to reach great altitudes and distances. During migration, they can cover thousands of kilometers, traveling in flocks. Migration is an exciting time for these ducks as they change from their breeding plumage to their winter plumage, which is less colorful but equally fascinating. The breeding season is full of challenges. Mandarin ducks must face predators like foxes, snakes, and even other birds. Nature can be relentless, and many eggs do not survive. However, the perseverance of these ducks is remarkable. They have a survival instinct that is admirable. If an egg is threatened, the female immediately takes steps to protect the rest of the nest. Mandarin ducks are also known for their vocalizations. They produce a variety of sounds, from soft grunts to louder quacks. These calls have different meanings and can be used to communicate with their chicks or between the pair. This communication is essential, especially during the mating season and when the chicks are learning to swim. In the realm of conservation, Mandarin ducks face challenges. Their habitat is threatened by urbanization and pollution, and many populations are in decline. Therefore, conservation initiatives are crucial to ensuring these magnificent ducks continue to thrive. Raising awareness about the importance of preserving their natural habitats is vital. Each of us can contribute to protecting wildlife, whether through direct actions or supporting organizations that fight for this purpose. Here's an intriguing fact: in some cultures, the Mandarin duck is a symbol of love and loyalty. Their beauty and monogamous behavior have made them icons in various traditions. This means that these ducks are not only admired for their appearance but also for their behavioral values, reflecting what many consider to be the ideal qualities in a relationship. Finally, if you've had the opportunity to observe a Mandarin duck in its natural habitat, you know how magical that experience is. The beauty of these ducks, combined with their fascinating behavior, makes them one of the most enchanting birds in the world. If you haven't had that chance yet, consider visiting areas where they inhabit. Nature has so much to offer, and observing these creatures is just one way to connect with our planet. We hope you've become as enchanted with the Mandarin duck as we have. This species serves as a reminder of the diversity and beauty that nature provides. Every aspect of this duck's life is a reminder that, even in the most challenging moments, beauty and adaptation can prevail. Stay tuned for the upcoming stories we'll share about the wonders of the animal kingdom. Nature is full of surprises, and we are just beginning to explore it together. Beyond their beauty and behavior, Mandarin ducks also play an important role in the ecosystems they inhabit. They help control insect and aquatic plant populations, contributing to the health of the environments they live in. By feeding on seeds and grains, they also aid in plant dispersal, which is essential for habitat regeneration. This interaction between Mandarin ducks and their environment is a perfect example of how all creatures play a vital role in maintaining ecological balance. The story of the Mandarin duck is rich with symbolism in various cultures. In Eastern art, they are often depicted in paintings and ceramics, symbolizing good luck and happiness in marriage. In China, for example, it is believed that the presence of these ducks brings joy and harmony to the home. This cultural reverence highlights not only the aesthetic beauty of Mandarin ducks but also the significance they hold in human traditions and values. Another interesting aspect is the breeding of Mandarin ducks in captivity. Their popularity among bird enthusiasts has led to domestication and breeding in aviaries. Many people keep them as pets, admiring their vibrant plumage and captivating behavior. However, it is crucial that these birds are kept in environments that mimic their natural conditions, ensuring their well-being and health. Have you ever thought about the impact of climate change on Mandarin ducks? Like many other species, they face threats as their habitats change. The loss of wetlands and forests due to urbanization and global warming puts their survival at risk. That's why awareness and conservation are so essential. Let's work together to protect and cherish these incredible creatures, ensuring that future generations can also appreciate the beauty and uniqueness of the Mandarin duck.